Hi there, welcome to kneppyinvests. Yesterday on June the 3rd, I released a fairly long video. It's about 40 minutes long. Took a little bit longer than that to prepare and to record. So because I am doing two 12-hour shifts on the weekend, so I don't have a lot of time to set up and prepare videos for that time. So I've decided to do a number of quick take Appendix 4C videos, starting with this one. And I do like doing these videos. These are really my favorite sort of videos because it doesn't take me long to prepare. I can record them fairly quickly, and there is a lot of information in this that you don't usually find anywhere else, particularly when you look at the history of cash receipts. I have never found that anywhere to be found online, and that's the reason why I developed my own spreadsheet to follow how these companies are performing on a quarterly basis. And I've also realized we're at the start of June, and we're nearly at the end of the June quarter, the last quarter for many companies on the ASX. And in about a month's time, we're going to start seeing the June quarter Appendix 4Cs being released. So I want to do as many of these videos by the time we start seeing the new quarter, or the June quarter Appendix 4Cs being released. If you hate these videos, leave your comment in the comment section of the video, and I'll take it into account. Maybe I'll do less of these videos moving forward, but I do like doing these, and I hope you like watching them. The company I'll be looking at today is MSL Solutions. This is a provider of hosted SaaS and on-site solutions to clients in the sport, leisure, and hospitality sectors. This is a company I actually did own for a very short period of time, about 3 years ago, simply because I did like what they were doing. But at that point in time, I can say my purchase was bad timing because they were going through some problems and I had to sell out because the share price was falling. At that point in time, I was only a buy and hold investor, and I bought when the share price was in the well-defined downtrend. You'll see that when we get to the charts. Otherwise, before we look at their Appendix 4C for the March quarter, let's look at some facts in regards to this company. MSL Solutions ticker code is MSL. They have changed the name a few years ago, so they weren't MSL Solutions. I forget what they were when I actually did hold them. My memory is losing it because I am getting older, and unfortunately sometimes you forget things. Anyway, market cap 46 million. And the really interesting thing about this company is they do have revenue, so good amount of revenue, 24.3 million, although that has been high in the past. But probably the most interesting thing here is they are operational cash flow positive, and for the trailing 12 months, that was 2.6 million. For a SaaS company, so this is a SaaS company, they have a price to sales ratio of 1.9. They didn't provide any annual recurring revenue in the Appendix 4C. I haven't had a really close look to see what it is. I'd assume right now it's probably maybe between 25 and 30 million. Some people would times the annual recurring revenue by about 10 to get what you might determine what a good value of the company is. So if you did that with this company, you might get a market cap of around 250 to 300 million. So you could argue with me, and I would accept that argument, that this company is fairly cheap for a SaaS company. However, when you look at their receipts history, which I'll get to in 2 slides, there could be a reason why this company is valued quite low. Before we look at the receipts history, let's actually have a look at their Appendix 4C, focusing on the cash flows from operations. And here we have the statement of cash flows from the March quarter, Section 1, cash flows from operating activities. If you follow these sort of videos that I do, this is the section I really focus on. And there are 2 numbers I look at here. The first number is receipts from customers. And for MSL Solution, that was 7.2 million. You might think, oh, that's pretty good, but in isolation, that tells us nothing. We need to know the trend, and we'll look at the trend in the next slide. And unfortunately, the trend is not up for MSL Solutions over the long term. In the short term, it actually is up, but we'll get to that in the next slide. More importantly, they are operational cash flow positive. Right down the bottom, you can see a positive number, 1.3 million. That means in operations, they are producing cash. And because they are producing cash and not losing much cash in investing and financing activities, they did increase their cash on hand from 2.8 million to 4.0 million by the end of the quarter. They did receive some job retention payments from the UK government, which amounted to 47,000. So that's not that significant at all. So it didn't really affect their operations. So now let's have a look at the cash flow history of this company. No, receipts history of the company, not cash flow, receipts history of the company. Here is the receipts history, and this is the reason why I don't think the market's all that excited about MSL Solutions. This history goes back to October 2017, and you'll see with the chart, you can just see how unexcited the market is with this company, because just like receipts, which have been going down through their history, in fact, the first quarter they reported they had or received $8.6 million in receipts, and now it's 7.2. If you do have a look at their March quarter announcement, they actually did mention that receipts increased 20% quarter on quarter. And that just tells you that management are trying to spin a story, a positive story at that. So whatever information they have to spin their positive story, they will use that. So they mentioned quarter on quarter growth, not year on year growth, because year on year growth not quite as impressive as that quarter on quarter growth, going from 6 million to 7.2 million. And they would not even think of mentioning the fact that cash receipts have been going down through the last 4 years. So that's the big cross against this company, is cash receipts is not growing. I do prefer to see a growth in receipts history, and I didn't even calculate compound quarterly growth rate, which I usually do in these videos, because it's actually negative. The only positive you'll find is if you go back the last 4 quarters, we do see a short-term trend with cash receipts. And the question here is if they can continue this short-term trend in the next few quarters. If they can do that, potential buy here is awaiting us. Now onto the charts for MSL Solutions. I did use TradingView for my video yesterday, the buy, hold, sell. I've reverted back to ComSec. I do actually prefer ComSec simply because the dates and the share price are in larger numbers. I can see a little bit clearer. Anyway, this is the weekly chart going back to when they IPO'd in 2017. And from when they IPO'd, there was a little bit of excitement about 2 months into their history. The share price went up to 35 cents, but ever since then, well, not ever since then, from then to about July of 2020, the share price was in a well-defined downtrend. I did take a position in this company during this downtrend because I was a buy and hold investor, and I wasn't really thinking about the share price trend at that point in time with this company. I just thought they did have a long-term viability, and I bought in, but they did go through some problems. The share price went down to a low of 2 cents during the COVID-19 panic, but the downtrend was broken towards July of 2020. We did see the share price level off once the downtrend was broken. You can see the share price just going sideways, and then the 3 moving averages coming together. So the 3 moving averages I'm looking at here are the 50-week, 20-week, and the 10-week moving averages. And you just see them coming together, and the moment they all close and come together is the time we see the breakout in the share price to the upside towards the end of 2020. We'll have a closer look at that when we look at the daily chart in the next slide. But overall, the weekly chart does show that MSL Solutions is in a positive upwards trend. So there is positive sentiment around this company. We do see volume starting to decrease. That's one slight negative. I would prefer higher volume. It just shows you maybe there's not quite as much interest in this company as the share price increasing is showing. So let's have a look at the daily chart. We can see where the share price did break out towards the end of 2020. With the daily chart for MSL Solutions, I've left the downtrend that we did see on the weekly chart that was broken in July around 6 cents. And then we did see around that time the share price just going sideways. The moving averages all very close together. That shows you the share price is consolidating, not much volatility with the share price at all. And what we're waiting for at that point in time is a breakout to the upside or downside, and that's when you might take a position. The breakout with MSL Solutions happened on the 17th of November. Share price rose 31% on that day, and there was a catalyst behind it. It was an acquisition of a company called Swift, POS. Pretty sure POS stands for point of sale. Share price not only increased 31% on the day, rising from 7.5 to 9.8 cents. 2 days later, it rose another 15%. So the market loved this acquisition of Swift point of share. And that seems like it was the catalyst behind the re-rating of the share price. And we have seen the share price get above 10 cents and stay above 10 cents. And that's quite, 10 cents is a natural resistance level. You can see that back in July, or actually about August of 2020, when the share price tried to get above 10 cents and fell back and went back to that consolidation period. So whenever you share price move through 10 cents on good volume, on strength, that's a very healthy sign. The share price has been going up slowly since then and is currently at 14 cents, still above the uptrend. So at this point in time, just waiting to see if they can increase or maintain this increase in cash receipts that we've seen over the last 3 or 4 quarters. That is all I have for this quick take Appendix 4C video for MSL Solutions. If you love SaaS companies, maybe this is one for you, particularly with the valuation around it. Fairly cheap when you're talking about a SaaS company. Now, if you want any questions or you want to ask some questions about this company or any other company on the ASX, leave a question or a comment in the comment section. I'll answer any question you have ASAP, hopefully over the weekend, because I am working and I might have a little bit of free time during my break periods. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor, so if you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's all for this video. Have a good day. See you later. Bye.